Hi, friends. I'm finishing my work day and I am moved to recite a poem for you that I learned when I was young. And the car is great acoustics. So I thought I would share this with you today. The poem that I'm going to recite for you is called The Box. It was written by an English writer, Kendrew Lascalles, 1971. And he performed it himself on the Smothers Brothers Summer show. And John Denver recited it on his album, Poems, Prayers, and Promises, in 1971, and that's where I learned it. I recall listening to that album front to back and upside and downside and memorized the whole thing. But this particular poem has stayed with me my entire life, and the recent events in the world has brought it back to memory, and I'd like to recite it for you today. The Box. Once upon a time, in the land of Hushabye, around about the wondrous days of yore, they came across a sort of box bound with chains and locked with locks and labeled, "Kindly do not touch. It's war." The decree was issued round about, all with a flourish and a shout, and a gaily colored mascot tripping lightly on the floor. Don't fiddle with this deadly box. Don't break the chains. Don't pick the locks. And please, don't ever play about with war. The children understood. The children happened to be good, just as good around the time of yore. They never tried to pick the locks or break into that deadly box. They never tried to play about with war. Mommies didn't either. Sisters, aunts, grannies neither, because they were quiet and sweet and pretty in those wondrous days of yore. Just about the same as now, not the ones to blame somehow for opening up that deadly box of war. But someone did. Someone battered in the lid and rolled the insides out across the floor, a sort of bouncy, bumpy ball made up of guns and tears and pain and horror came crashing out and bumping into everything in store. And what was sad and most unfair is that it didn't really seem to care much who it bumped, or why, or what, or for. It bumps the children mainly. And I'll tell you this quite plainly. It bumps them every day and more, and leaves them dead and burned and dying, thousands of them, sick and crying. Because when it bumps, it's really very sore. Now, there's a way to stop the ball. It isn't difficult at all. All it takes is wisdom, and I'm absolutely sure that we could get it back in the box and bind the chains and lock the locks. But no one wants to save the children anymore. Well, that's the way it all appears, because it's been bouncing around for years and years in spite of all the wisdom whiz since those wondrous days of yore. And when they came across the box, bound with chains and locked with locks and labeled, "Kindly do not touch. It's war." A prayer for your king.